Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the Deploying MindsDB series. So in this video, we'll be deploying MindsDB on a Scaleway cloud instance. So let's get started. In order to complete this tutorial, we'll need a Scaleway cloud account. So if you don't have a Scaleway cloud account, then you can sign up for one. You can simply head over to www.scaleway.com. A link is available in the description, so you can directly hit that link and you can sign up for a free cloud account. So talking about Scaleway, so Scaleway is the leading cloud service provider in Europe, and what makes it different from other providers is that it doesn't provide you with single services, rather it bundles these services into an ecosystem. So based on your needs, you can opt to choose any one of them. So once you have signed up for a Scaleway cloud account, you get 100 USD worth of credits to try the platform services for a month. So you should be good to continue with the tutorial. So simply sign in to your cloud account for Scaleway. And once you have signed in, you should land up in your cloud console, which looks something like this. So if you are logging in for the first time, you will need to add the billing information. Then also you'll need to verify your payment method. And there is a third step, which is verify your ID document, but it is optional. But if you don't do this verification, then there will be limited resources available that you can use. But those limited resources are fine, and we can really continue with this tutorial. So you don't really need to do this verification for now. So once you are done with all these steps, we'll start creating the instance now. So what we'll do now is simply click on the instances from this left navigation pane. So once we hit this instances dashboard opens up. As you are seeing, we don't have any previously created instances available now. So if you would have been using instances from Scaleway, then on this dashboard, on this page, you will be finding the list of all the created instances. But for now, it is 0. So it is empty, and here we have this create an instance button. So you can simply create an instance by clicking on this button, or also you can go here. We have a create button here as well, and you can click on this one, and from there you can select this instance. So now we will simply click on this create an instance button, and now this create a new instance page opens up. So the first thing we need to choose is an availability zone. And we have 6 options available. It's Paris 1, Paris 2, Paris 3, and then Amsterdam 1, Amsterdam 2, and Warsaw 1. So what makes these things different is that you will be finding some icons over these names. So if you hover over this, then you will find the specific thing about this availability zone, how it differs. So we'll go with the default one, Paris 1. We don't need to change it to something else unless you want to. Now coming to the second option, it's select an instance. So there are 4 kinds of instance you can choose from. It's for development and testing. Then there are general purpose, GPU, Stardust, and enterprise. So you can ignore this warning, as I have been using this cloud account for a while, so they are probably asking me to verify my ID, but still I will be able to create the instance. So you can ignore this one. When you will be logging in for the first time, you will probably not be getting this warning over here. So this can be ignored. So coming down to the select an instance, we will keep it at general purpose, and from here we will select this Pro 2S. You can select also this Pro 2 XS, but yeah, let's go for this Pro 2S now, as we have free credits. So this one, we are selecting this Pro 2S now, and coming down, let's choose an image. So we will go with Ubuntu as usual, and from here you can select the version. I will go with the latest. It's 22.04. And then we have this add volume section. So we have a default system volume which is of 10 gigs. Let's increase it to 30 gigs. We'll be needing some space to install MindsDB and all that stuff later. And then coming down here, it says select a volume to run your OS. So we have just created one volume here, which is the system one. So when we click on this field, we get that volume here. So just click on this one and select the system volume only. So if you add more volumes here, so in this drop down, you'll be getting all those volumes listed. So we have selected the system volume. So the OS will run from this one. And then for the name of the instance, we'll go with the default MindsDB demo, which we choose always. And then for the tags, we can leave it empty. Then comes the main thing, SSH keys. So unlike other service providers, you don't really get a predefined password and a root user. So what you need to do, like you will have the root user, but they don't provide you with a default password, right? So we need to add a SSH key for this one. So we can do that simply by clicking on this add a new SSH key. Now what happens is that we need to paste our public key in this space, and we can simply add a description, and then we can do this add an SSH key button will be enabled, and we can add it. So to generate the keys, you can simply, the command is already written over here, so you can simply copy it out. Then you can simply open the terminal in your machine and you paste it there. Replace the email with yours. So I'll replace it with mine now. It's rutampreta@gmail.com. So now I can hit enter. So this will generate me a pair of keys, a public key and a private key. So it says a file name where you want to save the key. So I'll simply say SSH key and I'll hit enter. If it is asking for a passphrase, we don't really want to keep a passphrase for that. So if you want to keep it empty, then simply hit enter once again. And this you need to verify, you need to cross check that the passphrase is correct. So as we have kept it empty in the first one, so for this verification also we'll hit enter again without typing anything. Now it says the public key has been saved in sshkey.pub, and the location where you can find this one is this C users/user. So I am on a Windows machine, so whatever be the location, it will be written on the console itself. So you can go over to that location to find the keys there. So what I'll do now is I'll go over to this location to find my public key. So here is that folder, and if you go down here, you can see these two keys are created. It's the SSH key, and this is the private one, and this is the SSH key, which is the public one, pub. So sometimes what happens is that the console gets confused when the names are similar of both private and public. So I will change this name to SSH key pub and I will save it. Now I'll open this one and I will copy out this public key, and then we'll go back to our Scaleway Cloud console here and we'll paste it here, and then we will add a description. I'll say a new SSH key, then we'll say add an SSH key. Okay, so we have added the SSH key now, so we can use this key later to log into the cloud instance that we'll create now. Now coming down, here is the cost estimation. You can see that for 1 hour the total cost will be this much, which is fine. We have credits already. So let's summarize what we all chose. For the availability zone, it is Paris 1. Then for the instance, it's general purpose and Pro 2S. Then the next thing is the image, which is Ubuntu 22.04. Then for the volumes, it is the system volume. The size is increased to 30 gigs. Then the OS will be on the system volume itself. Then the name of the instance, which is MindsDB demo. Then we added the SSH key, and now we are good to go. Now we can simply click on this create a new instance. So this should take a while to create the instance. We have to wait till the instance is ready to be used. Okay, so as you can see, the instance is ready now. The status here is running. So we can use the instance now to do the next steps for this tutorial. So the first things first is the SSH command. As you know that we don't have a default password. So here if you'll see, you don't have a section saying the username is this or the password is this. So all we have here is this SSH command. So what we want to do now is copy this one, and then we'll go back to the terminal. And here what we will do something like, we'll not really paste this one as we need to provide the private key as well. Then only we will be able to log in. So the command for this will be ssh-i. Then we'll provide the location of the key, the total location of the key. So let's go back to the folder structure, and from here I'll copy this location, C user, and then I'll come back here and I'll paste this one. Then I'll say slash, then it will be SSH key. Okay, that should be good. And then we'll say let's minimize this one. Now the user is root @ that one. So what I will do is I'll copy part of this. Okay, now we'll come back here to the terminal and we'll paste it here. So the command looks something like this: ssh - the location of your private key, then the username @ the public IP of the instance. So now we'll hit enter. Okay, so now it is asking whether we want to continue connecting. We will type yes and we'll hit enter. Okay, so now we are logged in as the root user for the instance MindsDB demo. Now we can start installing other stuff inside the instance. So now the first thing we want to do is install Docker, as we will be using Docker to install MindsDB. So let's install Docker first. So the command will be apt-get install docker.io. It is asking whether you want to continue. We will type Y and hit enter again. So this will take a while to download and install Docker in the instance. Okay, so Docker installation is complete now. So now we'll check whether the Docker is installed properly or not. So we'll run the Docker hello world now. If it returns hello from Docker message, then it will be confirmed that Docker is installed properly. So let's run that one. Docker run hello world. So it will pull the hello world image. Okay, so we got that message hello from the Docker, as you can see. So Docker is properly installed now. So the next step will be to pull the latest stable release of MindsDB. So we can do that by typing docker pull MindsDB/MindsDB, and we'll hit enter now. So it will take a while to pull the latest image of MindsDB and then it will extract it. So let's wait till the pull is complete. Okay, so the pull is complete now. The next thing we want to do is run MindsDB using Docker and also expose the specific ports for the MindsDB GUI and the data transactions. So let's type in the command for that. We'll say docker run, then -p for the port. So the first port will be 47334. So this port will be used by the HTTP API. We'll be getting the MindsDB GUI on this port. Then again -p for the other port. It's 47335. So this port will be used by the MySQL API for the data transactions. Now we'll tell what we want to run. It's MindsDB/MindsDB. So this is how the whole command looks like. Docker run -p 47334 -p 47335 and MindsDB/MindsDB. So let's hit the enter now. It will take a while to get started. So we'll be getting messages in this console, which will say when the specific APIs have started, the HTTP, the MySQL, and also the MongoDB. And once they have started, it will tell you that they have started on this port. So as you can see, we have these messages over here. HTTP API is starting, and MySQL and MongoDB API, everything is starting. And if you come over here, then we can see that the MongoDB API has started on this port, HTTP has started on this one, and MySQL has started on this one. So now MindsDB instance is running inside our server, so we are good to go. So now we want to explore the MindsDB GUI. So what we will do now is minimize this one, and we'll come over to here. We have this public IP for the instance. We'll copy this one. We'll open another tab. We'll paste the IP address. Then we will say 47334, and then we will hit enter. So it will take a while to load the MindsDB GUI. So let's wait till we are able to fetch the GUI using our public IPv4 on the port 47334. And one more thing you can note is that if you are having trouble connecting to this GUI, then make sure that you are not connected to any VPN. So that might be causing a problem with the ports to connect. So now as you can see, we have the MindsDB GUI available here. So there are three basic parts. This one at the top, where you are able to see this query written already. So this is for the writing of queries. We basically call it a query editor. As you can edit the queries, you can write the queries over here. So after you write the query here, then you can click on this run button, and the results are displayed at this bottom part. So this is basically the result viewer, and towards the right we have this learning hub. So it contains resources for all the new folks who are joining MindsDB and are trying to use it. So you have these tutorials and you have more resources available here. So you can use all this stuff to get started with MindsDB. Apart from that, let's now try to figure out what are the default tables present in MindsDB. So what we will do now is execute this command, which is show tables. So I'll hit the run. So this is the list of default tables that are present when we launch the MindsDB instance for the first time. So the three tables are predictors. So what the predictors table does is that it stores the predictor models that we train as an individual record. All the details about the specific predictor model is stored as separate columns with that record. And apart from that, we have the predictors versions. So what predictors versions does is that it stores the versioning of a specific predictor model. So we have the ability to switch between those versions, and we can choose which version we want to use while predicting a value. So this is how this table comes into play. And the last one is the databases table. So what databases table does is that it stores the list of all the databases that are connected to the MindsDB instance. So these are all the three tables that are present by default. So now let's summarize what all we did in this video. So initially we signed up for a Scaleway cloud account. Then we created a Scaleway cloud server. Then we installed Docker in that server. Then we installed MindsDB using Docker. Then we explored the MindsDB GUI, and finally we explored the default tables present in MindsDB when we launched the MindsDB instance for the first time. So that's all for this tutorial. I hope you had a great time watching this video. So do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And also don't forget to drop a GitHub star in the GitHub repository of MindsDB. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.